Hi everyone, I'm Marcy and today I'm making a Tres Leches Cake, substituting coconut milk for one of the three milks. So it's a bit of a twist on this recipe, but it's absolutely creamy and delicious and I really think you're going to love it. Just as there are tres leches or three milks for this recipe, there are three parts to it: the cake, the filling, and the frosting. So I've separated the ingredients as such, and here's what you're going to need. For the cake, 1.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 cup or 1 stick of softened butter. Now, it preferably should be unsalted, but if you have salted, it's no big deal. You'll need 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 5 eggs, and 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Then for the tres leches, you'll need the 3 milks. Now I'm going to be using 1.5 cups of coconut milk, again for a different take on this recipe. But if you want to go the more traditional route, just use 1.5 cups of whole milk instead. Then you'll need 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk and 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. And then we're going to be frosting this cake with a homemade whipped cream. And for that, you're going to need 2 cups or 16 fluid ounces of heavy whipping cream, 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and then you can top this with whatever kind of fruit you like. I'm going to be using some sweetened coconut flakes and maraschino cherries, but strawberries are also terrific on this cake. So let's go ahead and get started.
First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then grease and flour a 9 by 13-inch baking pan. I'm using my new baking dish that I got for Christmas that has Marcy inspired in this beautiful etching. I'll include where it's from in the description box in case you're interested, but I just had to show it off. Okay, now we sift together the 1.5 cups of flour and the baking powder and set it aside. Next, separate the egg yolks from the whites. And using an electric hand mixer, we're going to beat the whites until they are fluffy and set them aside. Then in a large bowl, cream the softened butter using the electric hand mixer as well. Don't worry about washing it in between. When it's all creamed, add in the egg yolks and continue mixing until well combined. Then add in the sugar as well as the vanilla extract. Now we can begin adding in the flour mixture a little at a time. Mix until it's fully combined. Finally, we're going to fold in our egg whites using a rubber spatula, and you want to mix until just barely combined.
So the reason I fold in the egg whites with a rubber spatula is because I want to maintain as much air in the cake batter as possible. I don't want to overbeat it. This way it'll result in just a fluffier, spongier cake. You don't want it to be too dense. A tres leches is supposed to be a spongy cake that soaks up all those milks.
Now pour the batter into the greased and floured pan. your best to make sure it's level. Then place it in the oven to bake for 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Let the cake cool at least to room temperature. While it's cooling, we can make the Tres Leches syrup. In a large bowl, pour in the coconut milk or whole milk if you choose that instead, as well as the sweetened condensed milk and the evaporated milk. And mix until well combined.
I'm just doing this because I'm going to be frosting the cake and serving it in the same baking dish, and I want it to look clean.
Once the cake is cooled, use a fork to poke holes all over the top of the cake. Be sure to include the edges as well. The whole cake should be covered in holes that reach all the way to the bottom of the pan. Then pour enough of the milk mixture to completely cover the cake. It will take a while for the cake to soak it all in. In fact, if you're not in a hurry, just put it in the refrigerator and let it soak up the milk overnight. Or don't use all the milk. It's entirely up to you. I typically have a little leftover milk that I use as coffee creamer the next day. Now we can make the whipped cream. You want everything to be cold, so you may even want to chill the bowl and utensils you're going to use. Pour the heavy whipping cream into the bowl and begin mixing with an electric hand mixer until it starts to thicken. Then add in the powdered sugar a little at a time. As well as the vanilla extract, and continue beating on high until it forms stiff peaks. This should take about 5 to 7 minutes. Then we can use this whipped cream to frost our cake. You can do this however you'd like. I'm using an offset spatula. When it's all smooth, I'm going to imprint lines showing where the cake will be cut. This will help me when it comes to decorating because I want each slice to have a dollop of cream in the middle, a sprinkle of sweetened coconut flakes, and of course, a maraschino cherry.
If you're not going to be eating this cake right away, then I would hold off on topping it with the fresh fruit until just before you're ready to serve. And then of course, because of all the milk that's in it, you absolutely need to keep it refrigerated. Now, some people like it with cinnamon on top. It's kind of customary, but not everybody likes it. So typically I will save that at the end so that if you like it, you can put it on yourself. And if not, it's not already on there. But I'm gonna go ahead and serve myself. Look at that. That looks beautiful. I'm gonna show it to the camera so you can get it up close look. I am so ready to dig in and give this a taste. That is scrumptious. It's so creamy and delicious, it practically melts in your mouth. If you're not familiar with Tres Leches Cake, it's kind of a cross between a cake and a custard because of all that milk that's in it, and it sort of pools at the bottom of the cake. In this case, it has that subtle coconut flavor that is just wonderful. I really hope you like this and that you try this recipe. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps others find my channel. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.